Chapter 33. How the Burgundians Fought the Huns. When brave Dankwart was come within the door, he bade King Etzel's Mine step aside. His garments dripped with blood, and in his hand he bare an unsheathed and mighty sword. Full loud he called out to the knight, "Brother Hagen, ye sit too long, forsooth. To you and to God in heaven do I make plaint of woe. Our knights and squires lay dead within their lodgments." Hagen called in answer, "Who hath done this deed?" "That Sir Blodel hath done with his liegemen, but he hath paid for it dearly, as I can tell you, for with mine own hand I struck off his head." "It is but little scath," quoth Hagen, "if one can only say of a knight that he hath lost his life at warriors' hands. Stately dames shall mourn him all the less. Now tell me, brother Dankwart, how comes it that ye be so red of hue? Ye suffer from wounds great dole, I ween. If there be any in the land that hath done you this, 'twill cost his life, and the foul fiend save him not." "O, ye see me safe and sound, my veins alone are wrought with blood. This hath hap from wounds of other men, of whom I've slain so many a one to-day, that I had to swear it, could not tell the tale." "Brother Dankwart," he spake, "guard us the door, and let not a single Hun go forth. I will forward to hold speech with the warriors, as our need constraineth us, for our miney lick dead before them undeserved." "If I must be chamberlain," quoth the valiant man, "I will vet how to serve such mighty kings, and will guard the stairway, as doth become mine honour." Naught could have been more loth to Kriemhild's knights. "Much it wondereth me," spoke Hagen, "what the Hunnish knights be whispering in here. I ween they gladly do without the one that standeth at the door, and who told the courtly tale to us Burgundians. Long since I have heard it said of Kriemhild that she would not leave unavenged her dole of heart. Now let us drink to friendship, and pray for the royal wine. The young lord of the Huns shall be the first." Then the good knight Hagen smote the child Ortlib, so that the blood spurred up the sword toward his hand, and the helm fell into the lap of the queen. At this there began a murdering, grim and great among the knights. Next he dealt the master, who taught the child a fierce sword strike with both his hands, so that his head fell quickly beneath the table to the ground. A piteous meed it was, which he meted out to the master. Hagen then spied a gleeman sitting at King Etzel's board, and in his wrath he hied him thither, and struck off his right hand upon the fiddle. "Take this as message to the Burgundian land." "Woe is me of my hand," spake the minstrel verbal. "Sir Hagen of Tronig, what had I done to you? I came in good faith to your master's land. How can I now thrum the tunes, sith I have lost my hand?" Little recked Hagen, played he never more. In the hall he dealt out fierce and deadly wounds to Etzel's warriors, passing many of whom he slew, and now of folk in the house he did to death. The doughty Folker now sprang up from the board, and loudly rang in his hands his fiddle bow. Rudely did Gunther's minstrel play. Ho, what foes he made among the valiant Huns! The three noble kings too sprang up from table. Gladly would they have parted the fray, or ever greater scathe was gone. With all their wit they could not hinder it, when Folker and Hagen gained rage so sore. When that the Lord of the Rhine beheld the fray unparted, the prince dealt his foes many a gaping wounds himself through shining armor rings. That he was a hero of his hands, he gave great proof. Then sturdy Gernot joined the strife. Certes, he did many a hero of the Huns to death with sharp and weary sword, that which Rudiger had given him. Mighty wounds he dealt King Etzel's warriors. And now the young son of Lady Uta rushed to the fray. Gloriously his sword rang on the helmet of Etzel's warriors from the Hunnish land. Full mickle wonders were wrought by both Grisela's hand. But how so doughty they all were, the kings and the liegemen. Yet Folker was seen to stand before them all against the foe, a good hero he. Many a one he made to fall, and his blood through wounds. Etzel's men did fend them too, full well, yet one saw the strangers go hewing with their gleaming swords through royal hall, and on every side was heard great sound of wail. Those without would fain be with their friends within, but at the entrance towers they found small gain. Those within had gladly been without the hall, but Dankwart let none go either up or down the step. Therefore there rose before the towers a mighty press, and helmets rang loudly from the sword blows. Bold Dankwart came into great stress thereby. This his brother feared, as his loyalty did bid him. Loudly then Hagen called to Folker, See ye yonder comrade, my brother standeth before Hunnish warriors, amid a rain of blows. Friend, save my brother, or ever we lose the night. That will I surely, quoth the minstrel, and through the palace he went a-fiddling, his stout sword ringing often in his hand. Great thanks were tended by the warriors from the Rhine, and bold Folker spake to Dankwart, Great discomfiture have ye suffered today, therefore your brother bade me hasten to your aid. Will ye stand without, or will I stand within? Sturdy Dankwart stood without the door, and guarded staircase against whoever came, wherefore men heard the swords resound in heroes' land, and Folker of Burgundy land performed the same within. Across the press the bold fiddler cried, Friend Hagen, hall is locked, forsooth King Etzel's door is bolted well, the hands of 2 heroes guard it, as with 1,000 bars. When Hagen of Trönög beheld the door so well defended, the famous hero and good slung his shield upon his back, and 'gan avenged the wrong that he had done him there. His foes had now no sort of hope to live. When now the Lord of Bern, the king of the Almongs, beheld all right that the mighty Hagen broke so many a helm, upon a bench he sprang and spake, Hagen poureth out the very worst of drinks. The host, too, was sore dread, as behooved him now, for his life was hardly safe from theirs, these foes. Oh, how many dear friends were snatched away before his eyes! He said full anxious, what booted it him that he was king? Haughty Kriemhild now cried aloud to Dietrich, Pray help me hence alive, most noble knight, by virtue of all the princes of the Amling land. If Hagen reach me, I shall grasp death by hand. How should I help you, noble queen? Spake Sir Dietrich. I fear for myself, in sooth. These men of Gunther be so passing wroth, that at this hour I cannot guard a soul. Nay, not Sir Dietrich, noble knight and good, let thy chivalrous mood appear today, and help me hence, or I shall die. Passing great cause, said Kriemhild, for this fear. I will try to see if I may help you, for it is long since that I have seen so many good knights so bitterly enraged. Of a truth I see blood spurting through the helmets from the swords. And loudly the chosen knights gained call, so that his voice rang forth as from a bison's horn, until the broad castle resounded with his force, and Sir Dietrich's strength was passing great in truth. When Gunther heard this man cry out in heated strife, he began to heed, he spake, Dietrich's voice hath reached mine ears. I ween our champions have bereft him of some friend today. Let him, I see him upon the table, he doth beckon with his hand. Ye friends and kinsmen from Burgundian land, give over the strife. Let's hear and see what he here hath fortuned the knight for my men-at-arm. When Gunther thus begged and bade in stress of fray, they sheathed their swords, passing great was his power, so that none struck a blow. And soon enow he asked the tidings of the knight of Bern, and spake, Most noble Dietrich, what hath happed to you through these my friends? I am minded to do you remedy, and to make amends, if any had done you aught, 'twould grieve me sore. Then spake Sir Dietrich, Naught hath happed to me, but I pray you, let me leave this hall and this fierce strife under your safe guard, with my men, and for this favour I will serve you ever. How entreat ye now so soon? Quoth Wolfhart. Then forsooth the fiddler hath not barred the door so strong, but what ye may open it enow, and let us pass. Hold your tongue, spoke Sir Dietrich, the devil a wit have ye ever done. Then spake King Gunther, I will grant your boon. Lead from the hall as few or as many as ye will, save my foes alone, they must remain within. Ill have they treated me in Hunnish land. When Dietrich heard these words, he placed his arm round the high-born queen, whom his fear was passing great. On his other side he led King Etzel with him hence, with Dietrich there also went 600 stately men. Then spoke the noble Margrave Rudiger, Shall any other who would gladly serve you come from this hall, let us hear the tale, and lasting peace shall well befit good friends. To this Grisler of the Burgundian land prepared, peace and friendship be granted you by us, sith ye are constant in your fealty. Ye and all your men, ye may go hence fearlessly with our friends. When Sir Rudiger voided the hall, there followed him all told 500 men or more, kinsmen and vassals of the Lord of Bechlaren, from whom King Gunther later gained great scathe. Then a Hunnish champion spied Etzel walking close by Dietrich, and he too would take the chance. But the fiddler dealt him such a blow that his head fell soon before King Etzel's feet. And when Lord of Land came outside the house, he turned about and gazed upon Folker. Woe is me of these guests! This is a direful need, that all my warriors should lie low in death before them. Alas for this feasting, quoth the noble king. Like a savage boar these fighteth one within. High Folker, who is a gleeman, I thank my stars I escaped this fiend. His glees have an evil sound. The stroke of his bow draw blood. Forsooth his measures fell upon a hero dead. I wot not that with this minstrel twitty thus, for I have never had such baleful guest. They had permitted whom they would to leave the hall. Then there rose within a mighty roar. Surely the guests avenged that there had been happened them. Oh, what helmets bold Folker broke! And noble King Gunther turned him toward the sound. Hear ye measures, Hagen, which Folker yonder fiddled with the Huns. When any draweth near the towers, 'tis a blood-red stroke he useth with the bow. It rueth me beyond all measure, quoth Hagen, that in this hall I sat me down to rest before the hero did. I was his comrade, and he was mine. And come we ever home again, he shall still be so. In loyal wise now behold, most noble king, Folker is thy friend. He earneth gladly thy silver and thy gold. His fiddle bow doth cut through the hardest steel, and on the helmets he breaketh the bright and shining gauds. Never have I seen fiddler stand in such lordly wise as the good knight Folker hath stood today. His glees resounded through shield and helmet. Certes he shall ride good steeds and wear lordly raiment. Of all the kinsmen of the Huns within the hall, not one of these remained alive. Thus the clash of arms died out. Since none strove with them so longer, the lusty knights now bade lay aside their swords.